Welcome back to another exciting day in mathematics. Warm-up 39 is on the screen. Let's get started, please. Once again, set those things aside. You have your 30 minutes to yourself to start. All right, so mean 6.6, median 7.5, mode 8. Q1 is 5, Q2 is 7.5, Q3 is 8, and our box plot from there. Then our agenda, warm-up 39 done, measure central tendency, and tonight's home plate 2 problems only. Oh yeah. All right. So, yesterday we had a meanie day. Did you guys get some rest, yeah? I saw some of you at night over there at the football game. It's nice to see some of you there. The Frosh one, yeah. All right. So, copy the code in case you don't finish in class. Write that down. KY4L8. KY4L8. Write that down. KY4L8. All right. So yesterday I gave you the afternoon off. Tonight, though, woo, let's go. Oh, yeah, we got this. All right, get a Cornell note going, please. I can summarize data and compute the measure central tendency. I can summarize data and compute the measures of central tendency. Now, by now, we are experts at the measure of central tendency, and I heard earlier I asked, what are they? What are they? And if I was to ask Hades, of course he's locked in, he would tell me that the measures of central tendency are what? Hades. Mean, median, and mode. That is correct. So, you guys already have the notes on measure central tendency. It looks something like this. You guys remember this? Yes. All right. So, mean, median, and mode. However, we've been using those for small data. So let me show you a roadmap. Look up. Don't copy this. We're going to be working with a lot of data measures. We already started with the first one, with this central tendency. From there, we're going to do variation, and from there, we're going to do position. So measures of central tendency, measures of variation, measures of position, and of course, Hades said that the measures of central tendency were mean, median, and mode. All right, so here are some of the formulas that we've been using, but you haven't really written them down. Here's one of them. Have we been getting percentages for the pie charts? Yes. How about degrees for the pie charts? Yes. How about finding the range? Highest minus the lowest? Yes. How about the width? Yes, range divided by the number of classes. How about this one? Let's see if you can recognize that. Tell your neighbor what that is. Formula for what? Tell your neighbor. Hint. Look what I'm circling. Hint. The mean, that is correct. This is the formula for the mean. This is the process. I haven't had you copy it, but this is what we do. However, look at this one. Tell your neighbor what that one is. Tell your neighbor what this means. It's also the mean. Now, check this out. Look up, guys. So far, I introduced mean 2 ways. This way and this way. So, that means, get it? That means that this one is for sample. Sample. That means a small portion of the population. Is that correct? So that means, see what I did there? That means that this is what, everyone? Which is known as what? Population. That is correct. So do me a favor. I want you to turn your notebook all the way to the end. I want you to reserve 2 pages. And on the first page of the 2, I want you to copy the formulas, please. I want you to write formulas. Once again, we're going to fill out 2 pages full of formulas by the end of the school year. So, to get started, write those 6 of them down. Now, once again, the sample formula, look up, is actually just this small one for the mean. For the population is this small one. And once again, these 2 are the mean. Write that down, please. Just FYI, this is being recorded, so stay focused, please. I'm going to try and go as expeditiously as possible to leave you time to finish your home play here before we leave. Here we go. All right. So we got our formulas down. Make sure you keep up with your formulas as I continue adding those throughout the school year. Just giving you a heads up, we're going to get close to 30 formulas. However, by now, all these symbols should look familiar. Is that correct? Tell your neighbor what the letter F stands for. What does the letter F stand for? Yes, frequency. The letter N stands for the number of numbers, or the total numbers. The letter X stands for the actual number of data. There it is. This, look up, this symbol right here is a capital S, also known as sigma. So this is sigma X. What does sigma stand for? This means the sum of all data divided by the number of total of data. All right, so that's how we find the mean. So questions with mean, median, and mode. If I was to give you these numbers, do you know how to find mean, median, and mode? Yes. Okay, so we're not going to spend more time on that. You already did one for warm-up. However, look up to the screen. What if I asked you for the mean of this? It's going to take a little bit, but notice that it's a lot of numbers. How can we crunch those numbers into a smaller set? By making a what? A frequency distribution. So I'm going to send that to your screen so you can actually cross out numbers. Give me a second. All right, so it reads, example 1 on your paper. Construct a group frequency distribution for the data using 7 classes. I said don't copy the data from the screen. You can just cross out numbers so you can build your frequency distribution. So, step 1. Tell your neighbor what step 1 is, please. Step 1. Greatest minus the least? Yes, that is the range. So let's find the range first. Who's got the greatest value already? 134. Okay, so it's right there. So box that or circle it, whatever. And what is the least? 100. All right, 100. So my range is 34. Step 2. Tell your neighbor what step 2 is. What is step 2? Bless you. Step 2, Isaiah. Width. That means the range divided by the number of classes. So 34 divided by what? 7. That's approximately, who's got a decimal for me? 4.8. All right. However, we know that with any decimal for the width, we always round what? Up. So that's 5. There it is. All right. So now we can get started with our distribution. Tell your neighbor what you're going to label the first column. Class limits. All right? So, where do I start? Tell your neighbor, what number do I start with? 100. All right? Okay. Give me the next, the beginning of the next class. 105. How about the next one, everyone? 110, and so on and so forth, because the width is what? 5. That is correct. 115, 120, 125, 130. And I stop there because it's only 7 classes. Can you give me the upper limit of the first class? Lucas. Thank you. Next one, Aaron. Yes. Next one, Enrique. Thank you. Yosgard, next one. Thank you. Moses, next one. Thank you. Adrian, next one. $129. And the last data, Jordan. 134 is correct. All right. What do we label the next column, everyone? Next column. Class boundaries. Class boundaries. Let me draw a line down. All right. Here we go. Class boundaries. Can you give me the first class boundaries, please? Before Sam does that, tell your neighbor how to find the class boundaries. How do we find the class boundaries? All right. Sam, first class boundaries. Subtract 0.5 and add 0.5, so give me the boundaries. 99.5 all the way to. Thank you. Continue, Gio. Thank you. Ezra, the next one. Thank you. Next one, Jacob. Thank you. Continue, Sebastian. Thank you, Aubrey. All right, and lastly, Melody. 129.5. Yes, thank you. Now, guys, to save some time and space, this next column, we're no longer going to write tallies. We're going to write frequency. Yes. And notice I'm leaving space because we're going to add one more column, actually a couple more columns. All right, here we go. Frequency for 100, from 100 to 104. 100 to 104, let's see. We got 1, 2, 2. Next one, from 105 to 109. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, I helped you with those 2. You do the rest. I'll wait for you guys. I'll give you 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Find me the rest of the frequencies. All right, here we go. The next class, I'm going to switch to blue. From 110 to 114, what'd you get, Terry? How many? 16? Hands if you got 16 for the next one. Everyone got 16? 18? All right, 18. All right, next one. Continue. Bree, what'd you get for the next class from 115 to 119? 13? All right, sounds about right. Next one, Karime, from 120 to 124. 6. Hands if you got 6. Looks about right. Next one, from 125 to 129. What'd you get, Thomas? 1. Hands if you got 1. Is it 1? All right. And last but not least, from 130 to 134, what'd you get, Mila? 1 and 1. All right. Not bad. Next, here's a new column. Label this. No, close. Median, that is correct, or the midpoints. I want you to label this one in words, midpoint. Midpoint, so you know that what that means. So, remind your neighbor how to find the midpoint of each of the classes. Remind your neighbor how to find the midpoint. All right? A what? I'm actually in. I know. All right, here we go. Let's go with Mayrim. What's our first midpoint? What was it? 102. Hands if you got 102. That is correct. So how do we find that? Aaron, enlighten everyone. How do we find the midpoint of 2 limits? Yes, between 105 and 109, but how do we find it? You add the 2 limits and divide by 2. Yes. Next midpoint, Franco. 107. Hands if you got 107. All right, next one. Continue, Hades. 112, very good. Now, in case you missed it, guys, once you have a couple of midpoints, what is the width of each of the classes? 5, so that means it goes up by 5. So the next one is what? 117, 122, 127, and 132. Yep. All right, so writing utensils down, look up to the screen. Last column. Ready? Okay, I'll wait. Here it goes. Writing utensils down, look up to the screen. Hades, focus. Here it goes. Last column. We already filled our frequency distribution. There it is. The only thing that is new is the symbol for midpoint, but we've been using the midpoint. Is that correct? However, I'm going to add one more column because now we need to find the mean of this group data set. How do we find the mean, Mr. Q? Well, all we have to do is take the frequency multiplied by the midpoint. From there, we find the sum of all those numbers and divide by the number of numbers. That's how we find the mean. Is that correct? All right, so let's get started. What is 2 times 102? 204. 8 times 107, that's 856. Next one for Geo, 18 times 112. Computation. Calculators calculate. What is it? 2016. All right, thank you. 13 times 117. What'd you get for 13 times 117? Isaiah. $1,521. 6 times 122. Lucas. $732, and 1 times the other ones, it's 127, 132. So, everyone, find me the sum of all this, please. The sum, or the sigma. Find me the sum. Bless you. $5,588. And now to find the mean, remind your neighbor how to find the mean of anything. You add the numbers and divide by what? How many numbers? So how many numbers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. Divide by 7. So this is what? 798. Exact? 0.28, approximately. And this is what we call the mean. The mean. So let's see the process. We started with our limits, boundaries, frequency. We added a midpoint, and at the end, multiply frequency times the midpoint, and then found the sum divided by the number of numbers, and that's how we find our mean. From 1 to 5, how comfortable are you with that so far? Yeah. Send me your work, please. I want to see what you did. And you have exactly 15 minutes for the home plate. Let me show that on the screen. So those of you that are following on YouTube, put in some work. There's a home plate. See you guys next time. Peace.